Good afternoon and welcome to Take Action News with David Shuster. This is executive producer Daniel Marins once again in the host chair this hour. We have a great hour ahead of us. I want to give a big shout out to all of our listeners out there in the Chicagoland area, of course in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in Oklahoma, in Columbus, Ohio, here in the Washington, D.C. area, where we're broadcasting from We Act Radio Studios in Anacostia, and across the country. You can listen to us on takeactionnews.com in addition to all of our affiliate stations, and get our YouTube clips if you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/takeactionnewstv. We begin this hour, as we've begun every hour that I've hosted the past 2 to 3 months, and that is with an update on the state of Bangladesh worker safety. Of course, just a couple months ago, the Rana Plaza factory complex in Bangladesh collapsed, killing more than 1,127 Bangladeshi workers in what is considered one of the worst industrial disasters, if not the worst, in modern recorded history. Of course, Rana Plaza was owned by a man named Sohail Rana, who was apparently built this factory illegally without a permit, used his political connections to build that factory. And of course, there were major cracks in the building, major safety violations that had gone uninspected because of his political influence. Now, since this time, the United States international labor movements have used this moment as an opportunity to bring to the fore major new workplace safety standards that they had been hoping to achieve for years. And of course, a couple weeks ago, when we last spoke on Take Action News, we reported that due to pressure from these labor groups and labor movements, the United States had revoked a key trade privilege from the Bangladeshi government, of course, taking away their trade preferences through their generalized system of preferences, meaning that 5,000 Bangladeshi products, Bangladeshi exports, would no longer be relieved of certain duties and tariffs. And of course, that would not include apparel that they were exporting directly, but the thinking was that by putting pressure on the Bangladeshi economy and the Bangladeshi government, there would be pressure to create greater safety standards in the garment industry itself. Well, this week there was another development. Of course, we've been talking about the Accord on Workplace, on Factory, and Building Safety in Bangladesh, which is the legally binding agreement that the international and U.S. labor movement in particular have gotten now dozens of retailers, mostly European retailers, who purchase apparel manufactured in Bangladesh to sign on to. Now, of course, that agreement means that U.S. retailers would be legally liable, and U.S. and Western retailers would be legally liable for factory conditions and workplace safety standards in these Bangladeshi factories where the garments that they sell are manufactured. It also would mean that these safety standards would have been negotiated in conjunction with international unions, with worker movements within Bangladesh, and it means that these companies committed to funding those improvements and funding those changes, which people have estimated could cost something like $500,000 per factory or more than $1 billion in total. Now, this agreement sparked a backlash particularly from North American retailers. Only three North American retailers have signed on to this binding accord on factory and building safety in Bangladesh. Those retailers are PVH, the parent company of Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein, Abercrombie and Fitch, believe it or not, and Sean John. Many of the other largest retailers, the two largest, for instance, importers of apparel from Bangladesh in North America, Gap and Walmart, as well as many others like Target, Kohl's, LL Bean, Nordstrom, JCPenney, and Sears, refused to sign on. Now, they claimed that it was the liability that they were afraid of. They claimed that these European companies like H&M and Inditex, who in and of themselves are the two largest apparel retailers in the world, don't have the same fears of legal liability because they don't have the same liberal tort laws in their country. And perhaps there is some validity to that, but the fact of the matter is these North American companies should not have to worry about the issue of something of this legal liability if there were not grave malfeasance and negligence in these factories. And so if they were really willing to put their money where their mouth is, I think many in the U.S. labor movement, of course, I have said on the show, they would be willing to face those liabilities and those lawsuits. And of course, given some would say the state of the judiciary in America, there is not a great sign that workers in Bangladesh would be able to amass the necessary plaintiff's resources to bring a winning case in the United States court.